Travel insurance. It's one of those things we often book at the last minute, or sometimes completely forget. But the big question everyone asks is, does travel insurance really pay out when you need it? Let's get into the real details. The truth behind those policies. What gets covered, what gets denied, and what you can do to avoid being left out of pocket on your next trip. Let's begin by understanding what travel insurance is actually designed to cover. Most standard travel insurance policies protect you against things like trip cancellations, medical emergencies, lost luggage, travel delays, and sometimes even personal liability or accidental death. On paper, that sounds pretty comprehensive, but the key issue comes down to how those policies are written, and more importantly, how the claims process actually works. Here's the reality. Travel insurance companies are businesses. Like all insurance providers, they are in the game to turn a profit. That means minimizing payouts when possible, often by relying on policy loopholes, vague language, or strict documentation requirements. And yes, while many travelers do receive reimbursements or compensation when things go wrong, a significant number of claims are denied every year. So, why do some people get paid out while others don't? Let's take a closer look at the factors that influence whether or not you'll actually get money back when something goes wrong during your trip. First, let's talk about trip cancellation. This is one of the most common reasons people buy travel insurance. But here's the catch. You can't just cancel a trip for any reason and expect reimbursement. Most policies will only cover cancellations for specific, listed reasons. These include things like serious illness, a death in the family, or certain natural disasters. But if you cancel because of work anxiety, political unrest in your destination, or just a change of heart, you're probably not covered. Unless you purchased a special cancel for any reason add-on, which costs significantly more. This is where many travelers get caught off guard. They assume that any good reason to cancel is enough. But the fine print usually says otherwise. Next, let's explore medical emergencies abroad. This is arguably the most important reason to have travel insurance, especially if you're traveling to a country with expensive healthcare. Most policies will cover emergency hospital visits, ambulance fees, and even medical evacuations. However, there are limits. Pre-existing conditions may not be covered unless you've disclosed them and paid extra. Adventure sports, like skiing, scuba diving, or hiking at high altitudes, may also be excluded unless you have specific coverage for those activities. So, if you fall off a rented scooter in Bali and break your arm, you might be covered. Unless your policy excludes scooter accidents or requires you to wear a helmet, and you weren't. Documentation is also critical. You'll need detailed medical records, receipts, and sometimes even official translations. If anything is missing, your claim could be delayed or denied. What about lost or delayed baggage? This is another area where travelers expect a simple refund, but the process is far from easy. Insurance companies usually ask for proof of the value of lost items, original purchase receipts, and evidence that the airline failed to locate your baggage. If your luggage arrives late, some policies will reimburse you for emergency items like clothes and toiletries, but only up to a certain dollar amount, and only if you buy within a certain window of time. The main problem? Most travelers don't keep detailed receipts for clothes, electronics, or toiletries. And without receipts, insurers can reduce the payout or deny it completely. Now let's talk about travel delays. If your flight is canceled or delayed, insurance might cover meals, accommodation, and alternative travel arrangements. But again, the delay must meet certain criteria, often a minimum of 6 or 12 hours. Plus, the reason for the delay must be eligible. Mechanical breakdowns and weather are usually covered. But if it's a labor strike, a missed connection, or an overbooking, you might be out of luck. So, does travel insurance really pay out? The answer is yes, but only if you play by the rules. And those rules are often buried in pages of policy documents that most people never read. Here's a real example. A traveler booked a 2-week trip to Europe and bought a comprehensive insurance plan. 3 days before departure, his father suffered a heart attack. He canceled the trip and filed a claim. The insurer denied it because the father had a known heart condition, and the traveler hadn't disclosed that on the policy. Despite the emergency, the fine print meant the claim was rejected. Another traveler broke her ankle hiking in Peru. She had purchased a basic policy, but it didn't include coverage for hiking above 3,000 meters. Her claim was denied. Had she added the adventure sports coverage or disclosed the hiking plans, she would have been reimbursed. These examples show how critical it is to understand your policy and customize it for your trip. So, let's walk through some best practices to make sure your travel insurance actually works for you. First, always read the policy details. Yes, it's long. Yes, it's full of jargon. But look for the exclusions. Look at the coverage limits. See what documents are required for each type of claim. Second, tailor your coverage. If you're going skiing, hiking, scuba diving, or even just attending a wedding with expensive clothing and gifts in your luggage, make sure those are covered. Don't assume anything. Ask the insurer directly if you're unsure. Third, document everything. Save receipts. Take photos of valuable items. If something goes wrong, get written statements from airlines, hospitals, hotels, whoever's involved. The more proof you have, the better your chances of getting reimbursed. Fourth, be honest. Always disclose medical conditions, planned activities, and other relevant details. You might pay a bit more, but it's better than having a claim denied because of a technicality. And finally, consider using a reputable provider. Cheap insurance often comes with poor customer service, limited coverage, and harder claim processes. Read reviews, check their payout rates, and see how responsive they are. So to wrap this all up, travel insurance can be a financial lifesaver. It really can pay out, and often does, but it requires the right policy, the right preparation, and the right documentation. If you treat travel insurance like a checkbox and don't read the fine print, you're setting yourself up for frustration. But if you understand how it works and plan accordingly, travel insurance can absolutely deliver peace of mind and real financial protection when your trip takes an unexpected turn. Thanks for listening. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing for more practical travel tips, real-world advice, and breakdowns of how to protect your money and experiences while exploring the world. Safe travels, and see you in the next one.